This is 7National News. Here are the headlines. Students at Zayed University talk change. Governments, regulators and investors gather at Nuclear World Power, MENA 2011. And La Niña contributes to rise in natural disasters. And in our top story, over 100 students gathered recently at Zayed University for the first UAE Youth Congress. The conference, run entirely by students, tackled issues concerning the region's young adults. Mavish Khan has this report.
The founding father of the UAE, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, looks on as students at the university bearing His Highness's name scurry to attend the day's classes. It's these same students that will soon be shaped into tomorrow's leaders. And so undergraduates here at Zayed University have decided to take the future into their own hands by organizing a conference for students by students.
We believe that the future generation have the responsibility to make a better life. Our responsibility is to at least pass the resources of this world to future generations, because it's not ours. We're only custodian. We should use what is necessary, what is keep us going until we hand over to future generations.
It's attracted youth from the country and around the region, an opportunity to act as citizens of the world and incite change, all while acquiring real-world skills.
Whatever problems that you face in your life, you have to make a change. It's not a big deal. You face a problem, but the problem itself that you face a problem without any change. You just stand and stop, and you say that I can't do anything to change. We have to change and start from now.
But before they set out to make a difference, these students listen intently to their mentors, who have all through personal experiences been there and done that. One of them speaks of the need to think and live outside the box.
The message is for young people. They have the capacity, they have the talent, they have all the resources. Just we need insight to believe in ourselves and to have the power of belief and take that belief into a vision, commitment and action. With these three symbolic, we can make a difference. And we don't need to tell young people what to do. We have to show them.
Other role models talk of success in leadership and business. While the classroom setting offers a great deal of knowledge, these days professors need to go the extra mile. Students, too, feel the need to go beyond the traditional college setting and step outside their comfort zones. These graduation projects showcasing students' abilities are a sample of just that.
The Arab world is going through significant change, be it political, economic, or even social. And what's driving the change is the region's youth. They have a voice and they're using it. Like this art installation by Emirati student Arwa Salem. It talks about women's issues and challenges misconceptions. It's all about taking the youth's message out to the world. Mavish Khan, 7National News.
The Chief Operating Officer, as a powerful leadership position, is being redefined by the region's multinationals and private businesses. As part of the Business Breakfast series at the Capital Club, the future of the COO was addressed in response to the impact of market dynamics on corporate strategy. Issues relating to business risk assessment, compliance and legal were considered as the main catalysts to call for a renewed approach to re-evaluate the COO's role as a pivotal one. It was also pointed out that COOs must not undermine the knowledge of e-commerce to fulfill daily operations for their company's growth. The COO and CEO synergy was also mentioned as another key factor towards enhanced corporate image.
The role of the COO, especially with our dynamic group, we have a group of 23 companies, will be a person who is actually very in contact with his people, a person who is very dynamic in his nature and very adaptive to change. He needs to be able to consolidate material, consolidate operations, and be able to give us the fruits of professional efficiency.
Having a COO with a broad experience of legal, HR, we talked a lot this morning about IT and e-commerce, but having a sort of broad background, he's able to assist in the sort of execution of the CEO's vision.
Dubai.ae government has won the Middle East e-government and e-services Excellence Awards under the category of the best e-government portal, adding a new milestone to its record of achievements. The winners were honoured in a ceremony organised by the Middle East Excellence Awards Institute at the Burj Al Arab, marking the conclusion of the 17th GCC e-government and e-services conference. Dubai.ae provides e-services and information packaged around life events targeted at citizens, residents, businesses and visitors. According to Dubai.ae statistics, the majority of users, amounting to 72%, are from the UAE, demonstrating the strong appeal of the website for local users, while the remaining percentage are visitors from the US, UK, GCC, Indian subcontinent and other countries. Growing demand and increasing energy costs has led regional governments to explore alternative energy such as nuclear power. The Nuclear Power World MENA 2011 took place in Dubai today, bringing together power utilities, governments, regulators and investors to discuss partnerships and funding models for nuclear power adoption in the region. Laura Sexton has this report.
Germany just announced a revisal of policy that will see all the country's nuclear power plants phased out by 2022. This announcement comes as Japan struggles with its ongoing nuclear disaster at the Fukushima No. 1 power plant. This poses the question of whether or not nuclear energy should be pursued by governments and what other options are available.
Well, I think nuclear is over. The fuel age will be over because all fuels will disappear. So we are at the age of sustainable clean energy now. It started now. It's a completely new paradigm, needing 1.5 trillion investment per year. Inevitable. It's about the size of the defense budget of the world. And indeed, we have a big task now ahead of us.
Population growth and industrial development will lead to the doubling of global energy consumption by 2030. Increased awareness of the dangers and effects of global warming and climate change has meant that countries are now turning to cleaner sources of energy. The Middle East is no exception to this, with the UAE and Saudi Arabia currently leading the way.
The government of Saudi Arabia has taken a decision to look into the various options to diversify resources. Last year, the King Abdullah City for Atomic and Renewable Energy was established to look after the nuclear, renewable and energy conservation measures. And they have been working on developing that policy, and hopefully in the near future they will announce the direction for all aspects.
Consumers are demanding energy that is clean, that is safe and that is cheap. Now, nuclear energy may provide some of the solutions. It is clean. It is still not cheap, but the big question is, will it ever be safe enough? That's what everybody is trying to figure out. Safety is the key issue in energy production. International leaders have now called for an evaluation of the safety and standards of construction for nuclear plants built in emerging economies. At the recent G8 summit, Japan's Prime Minister Nato Kan pledged that Japan would not withhold any information on the Fukushima accident.
When it comes to the natural disaster, I think it's important to think very carefully about what is the potential worst scenario that could hit your country or your specific site. And also, in order to enable that, you need a good expert, knowledgeable about the natural hazard and knowledgeable about the plant design. And then some emergency preparedness, including severe accident management guideline and also off-site emergency plan.
The conference highlighted that companies across the globe are looking at advanced technologies and next-generation nuclear technology to ensure that nuclear energy is still considered an option for countries. With recent announcements such as Germany's policy revival, nuclear energy's future remains to be seen. Lourdes Sexton, 7 National News.
Abu Dhabi Airports Company today announced that Abu Dhabi International Airport saw a 15% year-on-year increase in passenger traffic during the month of April, with a total of 996,000 passengers travelling through the capital. Last month also showed a significant rise in cargo volumes, reaching 38,137 tonnes, a 13% increase over the same month last year, mainly driven by the airline's new cargo aircrafts and destinations from the airport. Commenting on the figures, Harib Ghanam Al-Hameli, Vice President of Operations at Abu Dhabi International Airport, said the 15% increase in passenger traffic gives the capital's international airport a strong, solid outlook for the year ahead. With growth momentum expected to be maintained during the summer period, over 900 flights will depart from Abu Dhabi each week. And turning our attention abroad now, during the month of May, natural disasters swept the world over and cost hundreds of lives and livelihoods. Since the beginning of 2011, extreme weather conditions have been recorded, and experts attribute much of this to an oceanic phenomenon known as La Niña, which is Spanish for little girl. The weather pattern is characterized by colder ocean temperatures in the eastern equatorial Pacific, which causes the eastern Pacific to be colder than usual. The change in the ocean's temperature can cause rifts in weather patterns and affect different regions at varying intensities. Khadija Saleh has this report.
This spring, the U.S. Midwest has suffered much. Extreme weather conditions caused massive tornadoes that claimed 100 lives. Record high rainfall averages caused floods that left great areas of the Mississippi Basin underwater. Scientists say La Niña may be among the factors to blame.
In La Niña, which is what's going on right now, there's a small hint. It's much smaller, but it's a small hint that tornado activity could increase in the Midwest.
Experts hope that science will one day be able to save lives with mankind's progress and improved understanding by better predicting and tracking extreme weather. Scientists say they are now just beginning to understand the long-term effects of global warming and climate change, which also affect weather patterns across the world.
During a La Niña event, it makes the atmosphere over the Atlantic more unstable, which is more conducive to the development of tropical storms and hurricanes. You can expect things as the climate warms. You see more frequent extreme rainfall events, more frequent droughts. In terms of the precipitation, you get an increase in the severity of the extremes. You can also expect to see more frequent heat waves. But again, these things become apparent in the data on the decade-to-decade timescales.
Meanwhile, in Australia, a water spout appeared off the central coast of New South Wales. Residents reported 3 additional vast water spouts on Monday morning off Avoca Beach following a powerful storm. Inside the spout, winds can reach speeds of up to 100 kilometers an hour and are known to pick up various sea life and dump it on land. Whether this is also caused by La Niña or not, these are just some of the extreme weather conditions and phenomena that took place and are happening worldwide. Meanwhile, experts say the situation in the tropical Pacific will continue to be carefully monitored. According to the World Meteorological Organization, the episode of La Niña began in mid-July last year and peaked in January 2011, but is in the process of ending in mid-May. During this month alone, 10 countries have been battered by natural disasters: typhoon in Japan, storms and flooding in Colombia, China, and the Philippines, landslide in Malaysia, tornadoes in the US and New Zealand, earthquakes in Spain and Costa Rica, as well as volcanic activity in Iceland. These events raised many questions and opinions. While there are those who choose to see it as the beginning of the end of the world, others say it is a wake-up call for everyone to change and better our behavior towards Mother Earth. Khadija Saleh, 7 National News.
And up next, we have the day's business news, so stay with us.